We are here once again with Matias Leyva. He's the founder of Truckee Financial Group right here in Nevada. I'm Spike Spangle. I want to get kind of a better idea of when should we actually move our 401ks. Should we do that immediately as we go into retirement? Should we leave it at that large custodian since we've been able to save a lot of money there? And also when we leave employers, maybe the ones from 5 or 10 years ago, do you keep them at the former employer plan because the costs were low? So for me, I'm curious, when do you move a 401k?
Great question. Situational. Right? For us, it's all about, okay, if you have a 401k and you've been working at this employer for 10 years and now you're on to the next employer, and let's just say you're over the age of 50 today, the contribution limits are very, very favorable and they're going to continue going up. So if you already have existing money and you roll that into your next employer and you are, for example, over the age of 50 and you can contribute, $30,000 plus a year into an existing account, when you add in compound interest and growth, you can speed up what you already have. So you can take your seed and make it a tree. You can actually make it a lot more by continuously contributing to it. Now, of course, there are some factors. Does the new employer have quality plans, right? Mm-hmm. Or is it going to be the same thing that you have over there where it's A, B, C, and D? Is it aggressive, moderate, which is kind of simple, where maybe it's best not to bring it into the employer and bring it into a Schwab or something where you can have a lot more creativity with existing money, right? So there's going to be several variables that are going to make the difference, but we're very big on if you're between 40 and 55, 40 and 60 and you're going to plan out work, you have such much greater bandwidth when it comes to contributions through your employer than trying to go outside and set up an IRA or a Roth because you're pretty much limited at that point, right? So the employer accounts are super important, and that doesn't include if you're coming with, typical 401k, there's 403bs, there's 457s, there's different types, public employee, federal employee, TSPs. They all work very, very similar when it comes to exiting an employer and then bringing it into the next employer as well.
Right. And I think our tendency would be to just go ahead and leave it there. It's grown. I know how to get into that account. I know what the account numbers are. Maybe I already have a contact or I know the email address. But once we leave that former employer, do we want to leave it in that same custodian, in that same place? Or, can they help me out with figuring out income stream and making it last for 20, 25, 30 years? Or do I need to work more with a retirement planning advisor, pull that money out of the 401k and start self-directing it?
Our philosophy is very straightforward. You want to control what you own. So if you've worked 20 years and you've built this 401k, a lot of times leaving it at the old employer, leaving it at the old custodian may not be very beneficial. Now, some custodians are going to offer the fees, they're going to have advisory and all that, but is it in your best interest or is it in their best interest to keep the account there, right? So it's very important to evaluate both sides, because if you have an old employer account and it's expensive on fees and it's not really in your control, it's still kind of connected to your employer, you might as well put it in at least an IRA so you're in control, you're in demand of that account versus just leaving it at the old employer custodian, if that makes sense.
As a retirement income advisor, final question right here. So let's say we've got two spouses, they both have 401ks, they have rolled it over. How do you create that income plan from two separate accounts like that?
Well, luckily there's no way for us to do all the math. So there's software, there's tools out there that allows us to, we bring two accounts into one. What is that going to look like? Not just the next year, but the next 10 years. And we always want to work backwards. So if our end goal is, we want to retire at 60, 65, what do we want that to produce at 65? What kind of income do we want that to produce? Can we get to that income with what you have? Do we have to add more to it? So a lot of times bringing that in creates more income than having the accounts in two different places, two separate fees, two different custodians, where if it's in one place, a lot easier to access. And more importantly, when people pass away, that makes it a lot more easier for the beneficiaries to have immediate access to that one account versus having to call this guy to get this account and vice versa as well. So I think that's very important.
Keep it all collected in one place.
Absolutely, yeah.
Matias Leyva, thank you very much. Matias Leyva is a retirement income specialist and can help you figure out if it's time for you to move that 401k. Have you left your employer? Are you about to step into retirement? Then you might want to move that 401k. You can go to the website and learn more about the team here. Go to truckeefinancial.com or call the phone number on the following screen. Set up an appointment so you can meet with Matias Leyva, founder of Truckee Financial Group.